Welcome to episode 2 of
This is what happens
When. Today we're back in Autodesk Maya. Hey, big surprise. Now, the issue today does involve keyframes like last time, but it's a little bit more complicated than before. But I'll try my absolute best to simplify what's going on. Again, these episodes are supposed to be short, but I really want you guys to understand what's going on. So, today's is going to be a little bit longer. Alright, so let's lay the foundation. When animating something, 2 keyframes are required, where an object starts and where it ends. Fortunately, Maya interpolates the in-between frames for you, meaning that your object will smoothly translate from its first position to its second. Now, things get more complicated when animating characters, as our hero here has 48 joints which all affect his movement, kind of like a puppet. When you rotate his elbow joint, for example, the rest of his arm will move accordingly. As you can probably already tell, animating a character running or swinging a sword can get pretty intense. With that in mind...
Episode 2, When Interpolation Fights Back.
Here we have an innocent artist, myself, attempting to animate the hero, dropping to the ground while landing semi-gracefully. Now, interestingly enough, the problem isn't when the hero is falling, which is a more complicated animation, but when he lands, specifically with his right hand. Now, look at these 2 keyframes. Here's the first one, and here's the second. This is the first one, and there's the second. Really, it's not a difficult animation. The hero is only lifting his right hand. No hip movement, no foot movement, just his right hand. So what happens when Maya tries interpolating the difference? This! Why is his torso moving? Why is his whole body rotating before finally settling down into the second keyframe? This may not seem like a big deal, but when you have 48 joints moving in a more complicated animation, the last thing you want is for one of the joints to go rogue. Like usual, I bashed my head against the wall trying to find a solution, and I actually gave up. No lie, I could not for the life of me figure out how to fix the problem. That is until like 5 minutes after I turned off my monitor recording device. Now, take a look at this. These colorful lines full of life and happiness represent each joint's 9 keyframeable attributes: moving, rotating, and scaling, each with an X, Y, and Z coordinate. This is the mathematical representation of the animation. There's the first keyframe, and there's the second. With only his right hand moving, all of those crazy movements between those 2 keyframes should not be there. That is the rogue movement represented in line form. Now, I'm not going to get into why exactly this works, but placing one additional keyframe, one frame behind the end position, straightens out those tangents, with the rogue line movement taking place all between 2 frames. And so, because your audience will only see one frame after another, with nothing in between, that rogue movement is officially and neatly contained. Well done.
Problem: interpolation causes unnecessary movement, which breaks the fluidity of the character's animation and aesthetic ambience. Solution: additional keyframe, 1 frame behind the last. Time wasted 15 minutes.
See you all next time. Screw it. I'm exhausted.
This is what happens
When?